This focus in the search for Nancy Guthrie centers on pieces of clothing the suspect was seen wearing on surveillance video. Savannah Guthrie's mother has now been missing for 2 full weeks, and the Today Show host has posted a new message for her abductor.
It's never too late. And you're not lost or alone.
CBS News' Bradley Blackburn continues to follow the case and joins us now with more. Bradley, good morning. Where do things stand now?
Errol, heartbreaking to hear that video, right? There is some new information, though, this morning from the Pima County Sheriff. He tells CBS News investigators believe the clothing and face mask the suspect was wearing in that doorbell camera video all likely came from Walmart, along with the backpack he was using. They are hoping that might help identify him. And again, there is that emotional new plea from Savannah herself.
We still have hope.
In a new video, Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie made this plea to whoever is holding her mother.
It is never too late to do the right thing.
Police believe Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home on February 1st. The FBI says a black glove found near her Arizona home is being tested for DNA and that it matches the gloves seen worn by the suspect in doorbell camera footage.
We've got to find that guy. Somebody out there knows who this is.
Authorities are asking for the public's help to find the suspect, who they believe is male, 5'9" or 5'10" tall, with an average build. Sources tell CBS News investigators have reviewed security camera video at this Tucson Walmart store as they focus on the black Ozark Trail hiker pack the suspect was wearing in the surveillance footage. The backpack is sold exclusively at Walmart. Friday, law enforcement searched a second house located less than 2 miles away from Guthrie's home and an SUV, though no arrests were made.
The whole world just wants to know where she is.
Members of the community signed a giant Bring Her Home banner hung outside of Tucson's local NBC affiliate.
I just think of, what if this was my mother, and I just feel so bad for them.
All hoping she'll be found as the search stretches into a 3rd week. This is such an urgent search, but it's also clear it's been challenging for law enforcement. In an interview with the New York Times over the weekend, the Pima County Sheriff promised they are going to find Nancy Guthrie. But he said, Errol, that could take weeks, months, or even years.
Ominous details there. All right, Bradley, thank you very much. Kirk Burkhalter joins us now. He's a criminal law professor at New York Law School and a former NYPD detective. Good morning, Kirk. Always great to chat with you. Lay out for us the significance of what Bradley was just reporting. The fact that this backpack and a mask was at least linked to a Walmart in the area 2 weeks into this search. What does that show us?
I think it's quite significant because at first blush, it may seem that law enforcement's looking for a needle in a haystack. However, every piece of evidence lessens the size of that haystack. So if you think about the way big box stores track their inventory, it's quite possible they would know when every single Ozark backpack was sold and what time and so forth. And hence you have law enforcement looking at the surveillance cameras. You already have a physical description, have an idea of what this person looks like. So all of this evidence is helpful, including the DNA evidence. It helps to narrow the field so the police aren't looking for someone in New York. At least they know perhaps it's someone that is local, if they still are. So these are important leads. Will they garner results immediately? Only time will tell, but they're certainly important leads.
The phrase you used, narrows the focus is interesting to me because the FBI also said that about 16 other gloves found in Nancy Guthrie's home were actually from investigators who had discarded them during the search. One glove they did find linked to the suspect, but considering how much time they would spend chasing down a lead that investigators themselves created, what does that tell us about how this operation is unfolding? It has been 2+ weeks, so there are questions about local police intelligence here.
Well, it's unfortunate. Unfortunate investigative techniques. It's human nature. I always like to say that's why we put erasers on pencils. Mistakes will be made. Her home, I would believe, is still an active crime scene, given that the crime has not been solved. And as tips come in and information comes in, you see folks returning, law enforcement officers returning to the home and doing further investigations. and perhaps collecting more forensic data. So it's important. It's unfortunate, rather. It's always important to keep a crime scene clean and uncontaminated. However, I would not necessarily jump to say that the entire investigation is being run in a manner that's sloppy, for lack of a better term. But sometimes mistakes are made.
Yeah, and of course, there's much more happening behind the scenes that we don't all see for good reason. Kirk, thanks for being with us this morning. Appreciate your time.